Macro Eagle, a channel that focuses on macroeconomics and current trends. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. It seems the hype is already over from Donald Trump election win and promises of a greater economy using the term MAGA or Make America Great Again. The consumer has now been in decline for 4 straight months in a row, showing that consumers don't see the added benefits of increased tariffs. All they see is uncertainty. The Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, which tracks consumer sentiment across the United States and also future expectations of inflation, clearly signals a worrying sign that interest and inflation effects are finally playing a role in crushing the consumer. Also, other more anecdotal evidence that shows that the consumer is tapped out and is likes like DoorDash is now accepting buy now pay later on purchases of food over $35. People already use credit cards to transact with the likes of DoorDash, Uber Eats. So why are consumers paying for food using extended payments? Jim Chalmers, Australia's Treasurer, is all smiles as he released the pre-election tax cuts, which are aimed at protecting Middle Australia. $17 billion worth of tax cuts are announced would give $256 relief over the financial year 25-26 and $536 over 26-27 year. The opposition Liberal Party has already ridiculed the cuts, saying 70 cents a day cuts are going to do nothing with the cost of living pressures on the poor and the middle classes. As the polls show in the graphic, both mainstream parties are losing ground to alternatives, mainly the Greens and Teal's parties, as the general population is starting to lose faith with the big parties as fundamental reforms that the country desperately needs are not being addressed. You could use an analogy to describe Labor and Liberal parties being Coke or Pepsi. Cost of living, rampant immigration levels, sky-high real estate values, pushing up rents, and 3.3 million people living in poverty, according to Anti-Poverty Week. I would be surprised to see the Australian populace finding alternatives, even voting in minor parties, creating a further reduction in mainstream party power. To Israel, the Netanyahu government has continued ahead to engage in war against Hamas, having broken the ceasefire deal on the 18th of March. Israel says the hostages weren't returned, all 58 of them, in the agreed time frame, hence the reason for the continuation in the conflict. At the same time, in Israel, inner fighting is playing out between government of Netanyahu and the heads of defense, which is showing instability in the ranks. The National Defense Minister Ben Gvir and Netanyahu have forced the dismissal of Shin Bet Israeli domestic spy agency chief Ronen Bar out of a job. Israelis are moving to the center of political power. As the chart shows, 53% of the population want an end to the war in Gaza. This could be what's causing the infighting within political parties in Israel, with a realization that people on the streets sentiment are changing towards the forever wars. China's Manycore, which is an AI startup company, has been in the media recently by trying to recruit gifted minds from the leading US universities, including Harvard. They are a spatial design software company producing CAD-type software, similar to Autodesk in the US. Together with the recently popular release of DeepSeek app and Unitary Robotics, this is demonstrating China won't back down when it comes to the technological arms race. And even in the face of increasing tariffs and trade restriction, it will continue to recruit brains from across the world to be in a top position. The following chart shows the United States clearly leading the AI race, particularly when it comes to large language model creations. The US has the current top 8 largest, most complex models in the world, with China having 3 of them, from Bar, Tsinghua AI, and Alibaba. Still, US has to be careful and needs to set the right conditions for this innovation to prosper domestically, now and into the future, with careful government policy and less regulation in this space. On to global markets. The price of copper has recently hit an all-time high of $5.20 per pound, as quoted on the CME Group, and is projected to climb to $12,000 a tonne by the end of the year. This shouldn't come as a surprise, as uncertainty over tariffs led by leading countries, and more constraints on increasing supply mean prices will adjust to the upside. The following chart shows tariffs aren't the only reason prices are climbing, as global supply is said to reduce over the next 15 years, and demand is set to surge with all the required in power grids and other newer technologies. Well, that's all, people, for this episode. Many thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content and like my work, could you please like and subscribe? It helps the channel out. Also, if you want to check out my ebook on Amazon, links are provided below. Once again, thanks, and Eagle out.